Hi, Darvis White here, and welcome to Sculpt of War Done Charities, where we teach about healthy food choices made easy. This amazing series is a partnership with of Salt and Soil Wellness Solutions and Usher's New Look Foundation. I'm here today with the founder of Salt and Soil, the emotional wellness chef, Jasmine Simone. We're here at the kitchen of Usher's New Look Foundation. So let's get cooking.
Let's get cooking.
So, Jasmine, what does healthy eating mean to you?
It means balance in a simple word. I want to make sure that the foods that I am choosing help balance my mind, my body, my spirit, and my budget.
Great. And so how, specifically about the budget end, like how does healthy eating affect someone's budget?
Well, that's so layered because a lot of times people think like to eat healthy is really expensive, right? There's this kind of narrative out there, right, that a lot of people go with. But if you flip that narrative and you ask, how expensive is it for me to eat unhealthy in terms of time, in terms of if you get sick from the foods that you're eating, in terms of the cost, the long-term cost on your health, right? So we weigh those things. Eating unhealthy is very expensive.
Right.
Yes, it may be very quick to go through fast food, go through a drive-through and get something, but we pay one way or the other. Right.
So Jasmine, tell me a little bit about healthy eating and how that affects someone's energy.
Well, think about it like a car, right? So like you want to make sure that the foods that you're choosing is going to fuel your body with the necessary nutrients needed for not just this particular day that you're in, but the particular season of your life that you're in, right? So you can't eat the same way at 9 years of age that you do when you're 90 years of age or anywhere in between, right? So each stage and season of our life, just like food that grows, right? It grows in a particular season, right? So these rainbow chards grow in a season. So when you're in the season of your life where it's time to make sure you're getting optimal energy from your food, to make sure that you're sleeping well and you're eating well, this is really a lifelong season, but you really want to make sure that you maximize what you're eating, what you're putting in your body, and the best way to do that is eat foods that fuel your body.
Right. And that's also a part of your budget, is your time and energy and things that you need. All right. So Jasmine, can you give us an example? Can you show us a recipe of something that is healthy yet budget friendly, that we can get that energy from, that we can kind of fill the bank of energy?
So I'm a big fan of making sure that, yes, your body is healthy, but also that your budget is healthy also. I'm very big on wellness in terms of your finances, right? And that looks different for everyone. But these days, in the climate that we're currently in, everyone is looking to make sure that they are set up for the future, right? And one of the ways to set up for the future is to prepare now. So one of the things that we can prepare now is something simple. Look at what you buy from the store, right? We see what we buy from the store. I used to work in corporate America at a very large, well-known grocery store, and my job at that corporate office was to help people get their products from thought to reality. To see, you come to the store and you say, I want to package these carrots and I want to sell them. So it needs just that, right? It needs a package, it needs a label, it needs a logo. So when you go to the store and you buy something that's in a package, you're paying for the item itself, like this carrot, and then if we wrap this carrot in a fancy package, here, this is going to be our package of carrots. Now you've added in the cost of the container, it cost me to get the container to me because that's shipping cost, right? And now it needs a label. It needs to say Chef Jasmine's carrots. So now I have to build all of those things into the price that the customer then pays at the store. So one of the things that you can do to really, really balance your budget is think of the things that you can do at home on your own. And one really good one is making your own broth. Super simple, super easy. Anytime I'm cooking, I just take a container like this. We could even put it in a Ziploc bag, and you take all your scraps from your vegetables and you put them in the container and you continue to use them. So I have some carrots, and maybe I'm gonna make some chard later. So I have this rainbow chard. A lot of times people don't ever know what to do with the leaves. They don't ever know what to do with the stems, right? So they just take these things and you just wanna throw these in there. Now what about mushrooms? A lot of times, what do we do when we cook mushrooms? I have some already here. Most people use the tops of the mushrooms and then they take the stems and discard them, right? Of course you can compost them, but I save those and I put those in here.
Okay.
I'll add that to my container, and then I might add some celery. A lot of times if you use celery, people are using this part. And what about the root of the celery, right? Okay. You can even throw some onions in there.
So these are items that wouldn't normally be used, but you can use that for your broth.
Your broth,
okay,
exactly.
Gotcha.
And so when this container is full, I'll take it out and you just bring these to a boil, and I'll show you how to do this right now. Okay? So we're basically going to boil all of the things, all of the vegetables that we had, and we're just gonna let that come to a boil. After it comes to a boil, we're just gonna go ahead and put it in this jar. After you boil all your veggies and bring them down from the boil, and then I added a little bit of liquid aminos in here, and you wanna take your vegetables and you just store them in a mason jar. Delicious. And we wanna store them in a mason jar. We're gonna even add a little bit more water to this. Let's do a little bit of sea salt. And what I have in there is some liquid aminos already. And then we're gonna add a little bit more water. And voila. You have broth that you can use anytime. It didn't cost you anything because you're already using the items that's in the broth. And this can just live in your refrigerator. You might want to date it so you know when you made it, but honestly, you can just use this anytime, anywhere, and it's so flavorful. And the longer it sits, it's gonna get all those yummy flavors. And if you wanna just simmer some vegetables or do put it on your rice, you can use it in your stuffing or anything you want. You can even use it, we're gonna use this in a different recipe and make some greens. So all of these things help to save money. This seems super simple, and it is. It's super simple and super easy to do.
Thanks, Jasmine. That was awesome. Can you show us a few recipe hacks that we can use?
I had a feeling you were gonna ask me that. So, sometimes when we go to the market, right, we tend to get very ambitious. If you're like me, sometimes I like go and get all these fresh herbs and then they do go bad, right? If I don't have a plan. So having a plan for your food, just like you should have a plan for your money, is definitely going to help your budget, right? So one of the things that I like to do is how I'm storing my vegetables. I love plants. I love looking at green scenery. And this is no different than the green scenery that we're looking at outside, right? This needs to be housed in order to last. So when I get my fresh herbs, here we have some rosemary. When I get my fresh herbs, I like to put them in a jar and store them like this. This is going to last way longer. Store them like a plant. You can put this in a windowsill with some sunlight, or this is a bag that I had that I got some carrots from 7 on the Natural Foods Market in Atlanta, Georgia, and this bag housed the carrots. So I'm gonna reuse this bag and I'm going to put it over my fresh herbs, and I'm going to put this in the fridge, just like this. And you will see that this will extend the shelf life of your fresh herbs. You can do this with basil, parsley, celery, carrots, anything that really comes from the earth. You can do this with. There's that. That's one tip. Now, have you ever bought something from the store, Darvin's, and then it's like this completely, you like, I'm gonna eat these greens and they
Yeah.
look great, and then you get ready to eat them, and before you know it, days have passed, right?
Right.
And so they might look a little bit wilted. They still look okay. If you want to give these babies some new life, let's say you're making a salad, and you don't want your salad to look wilted, right? Unless it's like a winter salad. Just get a bowl, put some ice in it, and then put some water in that bowl.
Oh, wow.
Right? And
Yeah.
then you want to basically think taking a cold shower in the morning. What does that do to you?
It wakes me up.
It wakes you
It
up.
definitely
That's
wakes you up,
exactly
yeah.
what we're gonna do to these greens. We're gonna wake them up.
Okay.
And we're gonna just give them a bath and let them rest in there for about 10 minutes. And after 10 minutes, we're gonna drain them on a paper towel. And they're going to be so much more alive. So those are just a few recipe hacks that we can use to stretch, right? So one way that we can stretch and save our budget is make sure that our food that we're buying doesn't go to waste. So we have to know how to store it properly and how to keep them so that our foods continue to keep us healthy.
Wow.
Hi, I'm Chef Jasmine Simone, the emotional wellness chef from Of Salt and Soil, and I'm here in Usher's New Look Kitchen in partnership with Work Done Charities and the Sculpt program, where they teach how to eat healthy and healthy food choices made easy. Today's healthy quick recipe is a breakfast quinoa bowl. Very simple, very easy. So we've already cooked the quinoa, and your ratio to cook quinoa is it's just like rice. It's 2 to 1, right? So it's 2 parts water, 1 part quinoa. And after that's done, and it's a little bit cool, we're just going to kind of make this like your basic oatmeal, but it's going to be really, really healthy and just a little bit different. So thank you very much to the wonderful, wonderful farmers and farmers market personnel over at Truly Living Well, who gave us this delicious produce. So we have some pears and apples from the farmers market. We're gonna throw that on, and a special also thank you to one of my favorite stores in Atlanta, 7 on the Natural Foods Market, for these amazing food where we got these ingredients. So we're going to use some pink Himalayan sea salt to that, and we're going to add a little bit of flax. That's going to really good for your colon, right? So this is like first thing in the morning, and then we're going to have some coconut flakes. And I'm going to build the same thing in this jar, because if you're trying to take something with you, eat healthy on the go, this is something that you can make the night before, just a pinch of salt, like a pinch. And then we're gonna do a pinch of cinnamon, and we got that going. And then we're gonna take some agave, some coconut syrup, or some honey, whatever you like, and we're gonna put that in there. We're gonna also add this to our jar, and this is going to be our breakfast option for the day. This is a delicious, delicious breakfast quinoa bowl. It's so good. Let's top it off with a little bit more coconut flakes. And then of course, once you eat it, you just mix it all up and really, really get in there. Let's taste it. Let's see what that looks like. Go ahead and get a fork, and we'll just get into this breakfast quinoa. A lot of times people eat quinoa in the evening, like for dinner or maybe even for lunch, but this is just a really, really good breakfast. It tastes so good. I'm gonna give it a taste super quick. It's so good. The crunchiness of the pears and the apples and all that mixed together with the nuttiness of the quinoa, it's delicious. And this one is something that you can grab and go and take to work.
So thank you for joining us for Sculpt. Stay tuned for more. We'll have more episodes of our Sculpt program coming
I'm gonna
soon.
cook these greens.
Yes, thank you. All right.